Tyler, the Creator, is one of those artists nobody thought would make it this far due to his controversial beginnings. Now he's a testament to what can happen when you stay true to who you really are. Despite multiple cancellation attempts, today he's one of the biggest artists of his generation. Here's how he did it.
Can you hear me try to yell? My voice is gone.
My shit looking gross. I look poor. Don't lie to me, bitch. I'm not cute.
Never lost. I knew who I was since I was born. I'll whoop your ass. Your girlfriend look like my mom.
The latest development from a gang of Los Angeles rappers called Odd Future.
My lyrics aren't offensive.
Are they?
No.
Some people find them offensive, don't they?
Tyler, the Creator, was born March 6, 1991 in Ladera Heights, California. He grew up without his father and was raised solely by his mother, Louisa. Tyler found strength in his family dynamic despite his father's absence. While many might assume this missing relationship would be a sore spot, Tyler has openly shared that he feels at peace with it.
I think if I had a dad, I would have went the normal college route and like a lot of other people.
So you're not angry?
I'm so stoked my life panned out how it was.
Although we grew up in a modest household, Tyler's family still dealt with a lot of financial challenges. But his mother always worked hard to provide for him. The area he lived in, Ladera Heights, often referred to as the Black Beverly Hills, is a predominantly African-American neighborhood, known for its middle to upper class residents. But despite the area's affluence, Tyler's upbringing was more than humble, and he often felt like an outsider among his peers.
I was too white for the black kids, and I was too black for the white kids. So I kind of didn't really fit much into a certain spot.
At just 7 years old, he was already creating imaginary album covers, replacing existing ones with his own designs, complete with track lists and song durations, even before he had the means to create his own.
I literally was writing raps at like 7, and they were horrible. And then I would get albums and like trace out like the square and stuff, and then make fake album covers and stuff. Like, damn, I'm gonna have one of these one day.
His mom always wanted what was best for him, even if it meant nudging him into creative activities she thought might help him grow. Like many parents, she initially tried to get him into basketball, hoping he'd find joy and discipline in the sport. But Tyler wasn't exactly enthusiastic about it. He found himself more drawn to art, music, and just exploring his creativity. Realizing her son's heart wasn't in the game, she chose not to push him further. Instead, she let him be, giving him the freedom to pursue what he genuinely loved. This kind of support became a defining part of their relationship, with Tyler often crediting his mom for letting him follow his own path, even if it was unconventional.
She tried when I was like 7 and 8, put me in basketball and give me all the Jordans and like all that stuff. She realized I was not into none of that shit and just let me fucking be. And I'm hyped.
And this would later become the theme of his life. She played a big role in nurturing his love for music, even buying him a keyboard to encourage his early passion for music and creativity. He taught himself how to play the piano at age 14, and his musical influences were diverse, ranging from Pharrell Williams to Eminem and Wu-Tang Clan, unknowing at the time that these artists would inspire his style later down the road. Tyler has often cited Pharrell as a major influence, stating that the Nerds album, In Search Of, was a key part of his decision to pursue music seriously. In his teenage years, his educational journey was unconventional as well. He often felt disconnected from the traditional education system, which was a blessing in disguise because it led him to focus more on his creative pursuits. In the 8th grade, he joined a drama class and was kicked out for being too hyperactive, and in the 9th grade, he was not allowed to join the band class because he couldn't read music.
How am I, Mr. Tyler? I was a boy, but now I am.
Despite the frequent changes, his passion for music always remained pretty much the same. When he was just 15, he launched a YouTube channel under the name Blockshead. It was here that he began posting his earliest videos, capturing a raw and an experimental side of himself. His first upload dropped on February 28, 2008, giving viewers a glimpse into his offbeat humor and creativity.
Dog. Tina's having a quinceañero Saturday, fool, and I just wanted to know if you wanted to come, dog. Hey, dog, Don't bring those fucking tacos or those cheap ass fucking toys from 99 cents, fool. Fucking mom and papa was fucking mad, dog.
But he did still try to work regular jobs as well. He worked at FedEx for less than 2 weeks and went on to work at Starbucks for over 2 years.
Worked at Starbucks and FedEx.
For how long?
For two
Because she worked at
years and,
Starbucks.
like,
5
months.
years.
Cindy, if you're listening, I hate you and I will never let this grudge go.
It was also around this time that he would have plenty of access to drugs being around the scene. It was almost unavoidable. But even as a young guy, he chose to stay away from it. Unlike many of his peers, he never felt the need to experiment with substances, and he stayed clean to this day.
I don't want to ever make decisions because I'm on something and then be like, oh, I did that because I was... No, I want to be in full control. I grew up where a lot of niggas had potential and talent, and their priority changed from, all right, after I do what I got to do, I'm gonna do my thing. It came from, after I do my thing, if I have time, I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
He's always been vocal about this choice, crediting his creativity and energy to his sober lifestyle, and proving that he can be unapologetically himself without any influence. For over a year, Tyler continued sharing content on Blockshead, but in October 2009, he stopped uploading, choosing instead to channel his energy into music. At first, Tyler went by the name Ace the Creator, but as he grew more serious about his craft, he transitioned from Ace the Creator to Tyler the Creator, a name that carried the same intent but felt more authentic to who he was. This also marked a shift in his approach. He was no longer just an ambitious teen playing with beats and sketches, but a young artist determined to make a name for himself.
Our future, Dipset in the building.
At just 17, Tyler co-founded the alternative hip-hop collective Odd Future Wolfgang Kill Them All, commonly known as Odd Future. The group had a really raw approach to music that wasn't really a thing at the time, but they quickly gained a cult-like following for being so unconventional. The original lineup featured Tyler alongside Haji Beats, Left Brain, and Casey Veggies. Over time, they expanded to include notable artists such as Frank Ocean, Earl Sweatshirt, Domo Genesis, Mike G, and Sid the Kid. Their self-released projects and energetic live performances made them hard to ignore. In 2009, he released his debut mixtape, Bastard, which he self-produced and distributed for free online. The mixtape was very different from most music being released at that time. His themes were anger, abandonment, and personal struggles. Tracks like French and Ass Milk exposed the raw and unorthodox style even more. The project's shock value garnered attention, setting the tone for his early career. And without even knowing it himself at the time, he was giving everyone a glimpse of his future as a proactive artist. The formation of Odd Future and the release of Bastard marked the beginning of his career in music. This laid the foundation not only for his music, but the collective influence on contemporary hip-hop. Due to their somewhat quick rise, Tyler and Odd Future caught the eye of Dick House Productions, the company behind Jackass founded by Johnny Knoxville. Dick House was known for its wild, offbeat comedy and boundary-pushing stunts, qualities that fit right in with Tyler's own style.
Hi, this is fucking Ladera, guys. And we can't fucking figure out a fucking intro because these ass niggas can't think of nothing fucking cool.
Recognizing Odd Future's potential to bring in a unique voice to comedy, Dick House teamed up with Tyler and the crew to create Loiter Squad, a sketch show that combined pranks, surreal skits, and the group's signature humor. Loiter Squad premiered on Adult Swim in 2012, with Tyler and fellow Odd Future members like Jasper Dolphin, Taco Bennett, and Lionel Boyce as the main cast. It would do everything from parodying celebrities and pop culture to pulling pranks on unsuspected strangers, and this brought them even more attention. Around this time, he also launched his solo career with the 2011 album Goblin. This was a full-on experience, and he designed it to provoke, unsettle, and grab listeners on purpose, once again going for the shock value. Of course, you could say the project showcased his talent, but it also contained dark lyrics that started a series of public feuds with high-profile figures in the entertainment industry. You see, up to this point, Tyler already had a controversial image, and that was a part of his brand. He was becoming known as hip-hop's most provocative and rebellious figure, but this project took things to a whole nother level. For instance, the single Yonkers was the song that propelled Tyler to the mainstream, largely thanks to its gritty black and white music video. He said he made the beat himself in under 10 minutes and was trying to go for a New York sound, really just having fun. The music video opens up with Tyler facing the camera, emotionless as he raps over a dark, bass-heavy beat. Then he casually eats a live cockroach before vomiting and eventually hanging himself. It goes without saying the song grabbed immediate attention, and some may argue it was not in a good way. first taking shots at Bruno Mars with the line,
Stab Bruno Mars in his goddamn esophagus and won't stop until the cops come in.
Then he didn't stop there. B.O.B. was a singer riding high on hits like Airplane, and he too was next.
Crash that airplane at that nigga Bob, is it?
A direct and very bold diss. And if that wasn't enough, he had words for Hayley Williams from Paramore as well, rapping,
What you think of Hayley Williams?
Fuck her. Wolf Haley robbing them.
It was as if no one in the mainstream was safe from Tyler. He quickly positioned himself as the anti-celebrity of the music industry.
Fuck you.
Back like niggas on the bus with a Rosa Parks state of mind. I don't give a fuck.
But this defiance wasn't entirely surprising, as one of his major influences was Eminem, an artist known for doing the same thing. Like Eminem, Tyler wasn't afraid to make audiences uncomfortable, using his music as a form of rebellion against norms and industry expectations. It was Tyler's way of rejecting the mainstream, and everybody had something to say. This was around the time that his name really started to buzz. In Goblin, Tyler leaned into themes of mental illness, personal demons, and defiance. The album's narrative was very different. It follows him in a conversation with the fictional therapist, Dr. TC, who represents both a guiding voice and a tormentor. Tracks like Radical open with Tyler screaming, "Kill people, burn stuff, mess up school," a line that led to a lot of backlash and calls to censor his music. However, he defined it as an expression of raw emotion rather than a literal call to action. Tron Cat stood out as one of the most extreme tracks, leaving critics divided. It featured dark, graphic, and often disturbing lyrics about violence, self-harm, sexual assault, and other taboo topics. Tyler used the song to embody an alter ego, Tron Cat, a chaotic figure who voices his deepest, darkest thoughts. This line above is often cited as one of the most shocking in the song, blending violent and offensive ideas in a way that disturbed even people who considered themselves his fans. Tron Cat led to accusations that he was glamorizing violent behavior and harmful stereotypes. Critics argued that he was being provocative for the sake of it, aiming to offend and create outrage just to get people talking about him. While again others viewed it as a form of self-expression rather than literal intentions. Either way, this was a problem. As Goblin gained popularity, so did the backlash. Activist groups criticized his music as misogynistic, violent, and homophobic. In Australia, a feminist activist even launched a campaign to prevent him from performing. But even beyond his music, Tyler also took his feuds to social media, where he was known for going on unfiltered Twitter rants aimed at celebrities. One of his most infamous targets during this period was Selena Gomez. He sent out 8 tweets about her which were filled with explicit language that I can't even read out loud. Obviously, his remarks did not sit well with her fans, and their interactions became increasingly tense. In an interview 2 years later, Tyler admitted they didn't really get along. Taylor Swift was another artist who found herself on the receiving end of Tyler's rants. He frequently mocked and trolled Taylor on Twitter. These tweets were more subtle than his comments about others, but they nonetheless put her as another mainstream artist Tyler didn't mind beefing with. Despite, and perhaps because of the outlandish behavior mixed with the intense backlash, Goblin struck a chord with a massive new audience. This widespread appeal ultimately earned him MTV's Best New Artist Award in 2011, a moment that solidified his place in the music industry and validated his unconventional approach. Funny enough, Selena Gomez was actually the one who presented him with the award. The moment was awkwardly surreal.
Here you go.
Tyler, the Creator!
This marked the beginning of his journey as the outsider who didn't seek approval. This was also an invitation for others to embrace their own individuality, no matter how unconventional. With this belief, in 2013, Tyler released his third project, Wolf. This was very similar to his previous work, but he also did try diving deeper into his personal life. Through tracks like Awkward, Colossus, and Iffy, he talked about his insecurities and his need for connection. This, unlike before, felt like a more vulnerable side of him beneath the wild persona. One of the standout tracks on the album was Answer, and this is Tyler's emotional message to his absent father, with Tyler confessing the hurt of growing up without a father figure. In the chorus he raps, "If I ever had a chance to ask you a question, why the fuck did you leave?" revealing just how much his dad's absence actually impacted him. And despite his usual nonchalant attitude, he admits he'd pick up the phone if his dad ever called, saying, "I hope you answer." But the song is also a tribute to his mother and his friends who supported him. He balances his anger with gratitude, recognizing that while maybe he feels abandoned, he still had people who cared for him.
Tyler, the Creator. It's a rough draft. The dying soul creed.
By 2014, it wasn't just his lyrics or social media antics making headlines. It was also his run-ins with the law. His rebellious image didn't mix well with the police at the South by Southwest festival in Texas. A packed show, he urged the crowd to push through the barricades to get into an already full venue. Yelling "just run in," a frenzy broke out as fans surged forward, leading to Tyler's arrest on charges of inciting a riot. Authorities claim that his encouragement created a dangerous situation that risked injuries.
Police have busted a rapper performing at a South by Southwest venue for inciting a crowd into a mob.
Now he was facing one of his first major legal battles, but it didn't end there. Just a year later, he faced censorship on an international level. The United Kingdom banned him from entering the country due to his controversial lyrics from Goblin and Bastard. Even though these albums had been released years earlier, the Home Office said his lyrics contained graphic and violent themes, and that was enough for his ban, claiming his words fostered hatred and encouraged violence and intolerance in homosexuality. In Tyler's view, though, it was an overreach and a denial of artistic freedom. He took to Twitter venting his frustration and questioning why his past work was suddenly an issue. He saw this as censorship and a punishment for music that had already shaped him as an artist. In that same year, though, Australia's activist groups also protested his tour in their country, with similar claims adding that his lyrics promoted misogyny, and after intense pressure, he was forced to cancel several shows. Tyler didn't take the protests lightly, often expressing his resentment and frustration on social media. His heated exchanges with activists only fueled more backlash, but he stayed defiant. However, something was shifting within Tyler. These legal battles and travel bans marked a turning point in his journey, a moment where the weight of his words and actions started to sink in. In 2015, Tyler decided to make a bold leap with his next album, Cherry Bomb. This project was noticeably different from his earlier work, steering away from the raw, in-your-face aggression of Goblin and Bastard. Instead, Cherry Bomb leaned into chaotic, experimental production, blending punk rock, jazz, and R&B. Tracks like Death Camp and Two Seater showcased Tyler's inspiration with jazz chords and live instruments, making it clear that he was moving beyond rap's typical sound. Cherry Bomb still received mixed reviews though. Some praised it for its innovation, while others found its rough, electric sound hard to follow.
I don't think I've ever been this stressed making a song. Charlie Wilson took what I had in my head and made it come to fruition so perfectly that I started stressing out on the fact that I could never do anything that good.
He saw this project as an evolution and a chance for him to move on to better things. The album was a sign of Tyler's maturing vision, and although Cherry Bomb didn't receive universal praise, it was a foundational project that set the stage for what was about to come.
Look at my face, look at that jaw. This is one side that I can't lie. We ain't gonna work out. We a fat boy, yeah, sumo. Got it, memo. Pale skin see through. It must be a window, cause you ain't an L when you could be a DJ. When I see you, my heart.
By the time he released Flower Boy in 2017, his lyrics showed a more reflective, personal side no one had seen before. He took a softer approach with this album, exploring themes like loneliness and self-identity. The sound was more polished and soulful, with production that was a major shift from his previous, more aggressive work. Tracks like See You Again and Mr. Lonely showcased a more reflective tone, with softer beats that allowed his vocals to be the centerpiece. More shockingly, for the first time, he also hinted at aspects of his sexuality in Flower Boy. Lyrics in songs like Garden Shed and I Ain't Got Time made people curious, but Tyler didn't confirm or deny anything. His lyric, next line will have him like, "Whoa, I've been kissing white boys since 2004, got people's attention and went against hip-hop's usual ideas about masculinity and sexuality. Instead of giving clear answers, Tyler let listeners make their own interpretations. Flower Boy was highly praised, with many calling it his best work and most mature and complete album yet, with sites like Pitchfork and Rolling Stone naming it one of the year's best projects. On May 6, Tyler began teasing a new project with cryptic videos across his social media, showing him dancing erratically in a blonde bob wig, colorful suit, and black sunglasses. In these short clips, he embodied Igor, a character that felt part mad scientist, part heartbroken lover. He used this character to bring fans into an emotional story he was about to tell. Released on May 17, 2019, Igor let Tyler share the complicated feelings of one-sided love and the pain of letting go. Songs like Earthquake and Boy Is a Gun showed his growth as a musician and storyteller. This project was unique to anything out at that time. With a mix of funk, soul, R&B, rap, Igor was a big step forward for Tyler, and people noticed. This project brought in a whole new audience of listeners, and at the 62nd Grammy Awards, Igor won Best Rap Album, which was both exciting and unreal.
LA stand up, Igor, Tyler, the Creator!
The same guy who was eating a cockroach and beefing with celebrities was now winning Grammys. Regardless, Igor marked a high point in his career. It also started a public feud with DJ Khaled that would bring a bit more of the old Tyler to the forefront. After Igor debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 in May 2019, beating DJ Khaled's album Father of Assad by a narrow margin, Khaled was very upset. You see, DJ Khaled had 2 #1 albums in the past, and he was known for his chart-topping success. So I guess it's only natural that he had expected Father of Assad, an album that was filled with A-list collaborations and mainstream appeal, to easily take the top spot. But when Tyler gave him a run for his money and won, he voiced his frustration.
I make albums so people can play it, and you actually hear it. You know, driving your car, you hear another car playing it. You know, go to the barbershop, you hear them playing it. You know, turn the radio on, and you hear them playing it. You know, it's playing everywhere. It's called great music. It's called albums that you actually hear the songs. Not no mysterious shit, and you never hear it.
Tyler just responded in his own subtle way. In an interview with Apple Music, he later reflected on the situation, expressing how amused he found Khaled's reaction.
It was fun. It was just watching a man die inside because the guy that, you know, the weirdo was winning. I was moonwalking in a wig. This nigga had everyone on his album. Everyone. And it's like, oh no, I'm not in the barber shop. I'm not at the club. I'm not diddy skitty. I'm not in the back of the Maybach.
He was finally proving his point. Despite the initial tension, the two did eventually end up becoming cordial with each other, with DJ Khaled later expressing interest in collaborating with Tyler, stating they have good rapport now. Later that year, Tyler returned with Call Me If You Get Lost, another layered project that further showcased his versatility. However, one track in particular, Manifesto, stood out as a direct confrontation with his own past, and he finally addressed the criticisms that had followed him for years. The track opens with Tyler referencing his past lyrics in social media posts, acknowledging the era when canceled wasn't even a term. He raps, "Internet bringing old lyrics up, like I hide stuff, what's your address, I could probably send you a copy," showcasing that although he's matured, he's still unapologetic and truly just being himself. One of the track's most notable lines though addresses his early social media behavior, particularly towards Selena Gomez. In the lyrics he admits, "I was a teener, tweeting Selena crazy stuff, didn't want to offend her, apologized when I seen her," openly acknowledging how inappropriate his comments were in the past. However, Selena never publicly responded. Manifesto also touched on how the backlash against his shows and music was something he faced well before cancel culture hit the mainstream. He recalls how protests outside his shows were a regular thing. But that wasn't all. Call Me If You Get Lost revealed even more depth than just Manifesto. These songs brought smoother, more refined production with a nostalgic R&B and jazz influence. Much calmer. Call Me If You Get Lost became his most successful work yet. This project won him his second Grammy for Best Rap Album, further cementing his place as one of today's most versatile artists.
And the Grammy goes to Tyler, the Creator. Call Me If You Get Lost.
Now, 2 years later in October of 2024, Tyler has just released his 8th studio album, Chromatoria. This time singing about things like accountability, self-doubt, and fatherhood. Songs like Him reflect on his relationship with his absent father once again, while I Killed You critiques Western beauty standards. However, patterns are patterns, and the album's release was still accompanied by controversy once again. Fans of Taylor Swift resurfaced his past lyrics and tweets accusing him of misogyny and offensive content once again. In response, during a Boston concert, Tyler addressed the backlash, labeling them as racist and unapologetically referencing his earlier work. Although Tyler the Creator's journey has been controversial and unpredictable, his impact on music and culture is undeniable. Tyler has proven time and time again that he's not here to fit anyone's mold. His journey hasn't just been about fame, it's been about paving his own way and challenging the world to accept him on his terms. And while his path has been far from smooth, Tyler the Creator stands as a testament of what can happen when you refuse to be anything but yourself.